reload. Now we have two of these. I'm not sure why. Well, where's it coming from? It's coming from our app component TS, this title, and this markup, and then inside here, this. So who's using my heroes? Was it the other one? Heroes component. This my hero detail. No. Let's inspect this. So my heroes, all the stuff inside my heroes is coming from, yeah, so there's a title, there's an h1 tag inside my heroes. So this, my hero, there's an h2. So this one, no, that's not it. Where is it coming from? Maybe the other component. So we have the app component, this guy. So this has an h1, and then we have the hero detail component, which has an h2. Okay, but where's the h1? Oh no, not the hero detail, the hero component. This guy. This one has the h1. Up here. Oh, yeah. Wait. So this one, maybe we don't need that anymore. Maybe. Let's try that. All right. I'm not sure if that was the right one to delete, but this, I'm sure we're going to get to it here in the tutorial. Okay. So we're ready to add some routing. We're ready to take the next steps. Instead of displaying heroes automatically, we'd like to show them after the user clicks a button. In other words, we'd like to navigate to the list of heroes. We'll need to add the Angular router. The Angular router is an external optional Angular ng module, ng module called router module. The router is a combination of multiple provided services, which are router module, multiple directives, router outlet, router link active, and a configuration called routes. We'll configure our routes first. Okay. Our application doesn't have any routes yet. We'll start by creating a configuration for the application routes. Routes tells the router which views to display when a user clicks a link or pastes a URL into the browser address bar. Let's define our first route as a route to the heroes component. Okay, so in our module, we're going to import the router. Am I in the right place? There's all this, yeah, okay, so it's after all this stuff. Import router module from at Angular router. And then it wants us to define for route. So this is our routes, I assume, which I don't know where you put it, but let's just put it right underneath. Router module dot for route. And it looks like it's a function that contains an array of an object. And inside that object, we have path, heroes, and then we have this little pop-up thing is kind of annoying. Component heroes component. Okay. So we've defined a route called heroes, I think. And it's saying when you hit that route, we're going to use a component called heroes component. Cool. The routes are an array of route definitions. We have only one route definition at the moment, but rest assured we'll add more. This route definition has the following parts: the path. The router matches this route's path to the URL in the browser. address bar, heroes. Component, that's that the router should create when navigating to the route. Okay, make the router available. We've set up the initial route configuration. Now we'll add it to our app module. We'll add our configured router module to the app module imports array. So in our module file, which we're in already, somewhere something is new. What's new? So we did that already. So this thing looks like it's in the wrong place. This has to go inside the ng module imports in here. I don't know how I'm going to remember this in the future, but okay. It's just where it goes. And it kind of splits it up into its own line. Okay. And then we'll indent this. And then this matches that. Done. Okay. I don't think anything else changed. Everything else is the same. We use the for root method. That's this one here, because we're providing a configured router at the root of the application. The for root method gives us the router service providers and directives needed for routing and performs the initial navigation based on the current browser URL. If we paste the path, heroes into the browser address bar, the router should match it to the heroes route and display the heroes component. But where? We have to tell it where by adding a router outlet element to the bottom of the template. Router outlet is one of the directives provided by the router module. The router displays each component immediately below the router outlet. Okay, this is kind of going over my head. So should I just keep reading, or should I puzzle through this? So if we paste the path heroes into the browser, the router should match it to the heroes route. Yeah, so if we type this into the URL, it'll match it to this path. Okay. We have to tell it where by adding a router outlet element to the bottom of the template. So our template, there's no template in the module, so it's probably inside this component. We have to modify the template. Router outlet, it's one of the directives provided by the router module. The router displays each component immediately below the router outlet as we navigate through the application. Router links. We don't really expect users to paste a route URL into the address bar. We add an anchor tag to the template when clicked triggers navigation to the heroes component. The revised template looks like this. So in our app component, so why is it not this component? Oh, because we're not here yet. We're going to be going here. So in the original component where we start with, here in the template, what happened to this little my heroes thing? Am I in the right file? App component, yeah. We have the h1. Let's add a link. Router link equals heroes. So that we're going to go to this URL /heroes. And then the button itself will have the word heroes on it. Close the link. And then we have okay, so we might not actually, yeah, because this is, if this is here, it's going to show the data here, but we don't want that yet. The router will cause that to work when you click. So in here, a router outlet, outlet So this is going to be deleted because we're not loading it right away. Okay. So this is going to be filled with the right component that we're going to. Okay. Notice the router link binding in the anchor tag. Okay, yeah. We bind the router link directive, another of the router module directives, to a string that tells the router where to navigate when the user clicks link. Okay. Since our link is not dynamic, we define a routing instruction with a one-time binding to a route path. Looking back at the route configuration, we confirm that heroes is the path of the route to the heroes component. So yeah, so when it hits this URL, when this property router link becomes this, our router, which we defined, where was that again? In our module, we'll hit this path and go to this component. Refresh the browser. Okay, I don't know if I saved everything. Save. Looks all, oh, this one's not saved. Okay. This not saved. It must be a save all. Save all, no hotkey. Okay. Reload. Oh, wicked, it works. So when I first load the app, without the path, we get this little link. I just want to look at it. So there's this little router link here. When I click on it, the component is loaded. Which component was that? That was the heroes component. Cool. It's working. Oh, and the address bar is also modified as well. Cool. So if I were to type that in manually, so if I was on the home page and I were to type in heroes, it would also trigger the router, I assume. Yep. Cool. We click the heroes navigation link, the browser bar updates to heroes, and now we see the list of heroes. We are navigating at last. At this stage, our app component looks like this. So yeah, that's everything we just typed out. The app component is now attached to a router and displaying routed views. For this reason, and to distinguish it from other kinds of components, we call this type of component a router component. So our app component is now a router component. Let's add a dashboard. Routing only makes sense when we have multiple views. We need another view. Create a placeholder dashboard component that gives us something to navigate to and from. Okay, so we're going to create a new dashboard component. So this is where Angular CLI, I can see how that makes sense, because if I want to create a new component, Angular CLI will just spit out all the markup, all the files for me automatically, so I don't have to type it manually. But since we're not doing that in this tutorial, I have to create the new file by hand, dashboard.component.ts, and in here again we import as usual component from at Angular core, is it? Yep. Then we have this decorator component. Inside we have a object, selector. So this one's called my dashboard. And a template. H3 my dashboard. H3. And then we export a class called dashboard component. Done. We'll come back and make it more useful later. Configure the dashboard route. Go back to your app module. There. Teach it to navigate to the dashboards. Okay, so import the dashboard component and add the following route definition to the routes array. So here's our routes array here, we're probably going to add a new path. So where's the old heroes one? Where's that? Oh, because this is an array of objects, so I create a new object? Is that what's going on here? That doesn't... Well, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Path dash... Oh, not cap. Dashboard component dashboard component. And we didn't import this yet, so it doesn't know what this is. Can't find the name dashboard component, so up here we have to import it. Import dashboard component from dashboard component. So it's not complaining, so I guess that's right. We have an array of objects, or is it one? Yeah, I guess that's how you do it. I don't know. Oh, and we have to also import and add dashboard component to our modules declaration. So in the declarations here, we have to add our dashboard. Okay. That's what they did. They put it second. I don't know if that matters. Does order matter? I don't know. We want the app to show the dashboard when it starts, and we want to see a nice URL in the browser address bar that says dashboard. Remember that the browser launches a slash in the address bar. It launches with a slash in the address bar. We can use our redirect route to make this happen and add the following to our array of route definitions. So we have a third one. Man, I hate this little pop-up. Okay, path. Okay, so this is I have to create the object first here. Okay. So now we have that path. And it's empty. So I guess this is our homepage type thing. Then we have a redirect to dashboard path match. Okay, so they didn't really explain what this does yet. What am I missing? We have comma, redirect to. It's a keyword here. I mistyped that. Okay, so this is saying when the URL is this, it goes to this component. When it's this, it goes to this component. When there's no path in the URL, it'll go to here. And I don't know what this means yet. Add navigation to the template. Finally, add a dashboard navigation link to the template just above the heroes link. So in our app component, just above the heroes link. So here's the heroes link. We're going to add another link, a router link equals probably dashboard and the text will be dashboard. Oh, and we have to wrap it in the nav. Oh, I guess that's just for, what do they call it? Semantics. Sure. Let's do that. For future styling. Done. We nested the two links with the nav tags. They don't do anything, but they'll be convenient when we want to style the links a little bit later. To see these changes in your browser, go to the root and reload. So we'll delete that, reload. Again, I don't know if I saved everything. Let me just go to save all and reload. So nothing's happening. Oh yeah, it is. Cool, 2 pages. And the URL is also changing. So this dashboard is the same as if there was nothing in the URL. Or no, if there is nothing, then it redirects to dashboard. It redirects to. Okay. All right, so we are back to the dashboard top heroes here. Let's spice up the dashboard by displaying the top 4 heroes at a glance. Replace the template metadata with a template URL property that points to a new template file. So let's go back to our dashboard. We're going to replace this with an external URL, an external template file. And we'll take this out. And we need a file here, dashboard.component.html. Why is there a comma at the end there? Doesn't that normally break things in JavaScript when you have a last little comma for no reason? And we need to add a module ID. I don't know what that's for yet either. Module.id. Okay. So what's now? Let's set the module ID property to module ID for module relative loading of the template URL. Module relative loading. I don't know what that is. Create that file. Okay, so we have to create this file that we just referenced, dashboard component HTML, and we put it right in the same folder, dashboard.component.html. Now this markup, I'm going to type it out only because it's got some ng4s in there which I want to get used to writing. If I just copy paste this code, it doesn't really sink in. So when you have to do it on your own in the future, you'll be searching the documents. Okay, grid. This is just some styling, I don't know, came with this tutorial. And then we have another div. And in here, so this is the part that we're doing a for loop, star ng4. Now this syntax is really hard for me to get my brain around, like to remember. Let hero of heroes. Because it's really weird. We're iterating through a heroes array, and each time we go through we're using this variable. Class equals column 1,4, which I don't know, I guess that's some sort of a grid, a bootstrap type grid. And then we have div class equals module hero, h4. We are outputting the hero.name. Oops. And we close these divs. So yeah, we're going to go through a bunch of heroes and output their names in h4s. Easy peasy. The extra divs are for styling. Okay, now we need to share the hero service. We'd like to reuse the hero service to populate the component heroes array. Recall earlier that in the chapter we removed the hero service from the providers array of the heroes component and added it to the providers array of the module. That move created a singleton hero service instance available to all components of the application. Angular will inject hero service and we'll use it here in the dashboard component. Now, I don't know what singleton is, but I do know that our module is, if you're looking at this like a hierarchy, like when our app starts, we start on the index file right here. And this one is going to load our main file, which is, well, let's open it here. So it's going to load this main.js. So in this main.js here, let's look at it. We load the module. So our starting point is the module here. So this, in the hierarchy, this is the top, and then we load a bunch of components. So what it's saying is we took out the service from one of the components and brought it up in the hierarchy to the module. And I guess they call that singleton instance, I guess, because it's shared, I'm guessing. Okay. Open the dashboard component TS. Okay, dashboard component TS, not the JS file. And add the requisite import statements. So we need to add some more. So we have to add on init, and then we import the hero object. Import hero, capital H, because it's a class, from /hero. And then we import the service, hero service, from the file. Service. You know, I'm new to Visual Studio Code. I've only been using it the last 2 days, but it's not bad actually, especially because it's free. I've been using WebStorm before, which is all right, but this feels it feels a bit more simplistic, but it's perfect for this job. All right, so now implement the dashboard component class like this. So that's, oh yeah, here's the class. We've got to add to this, right? Yeah, dashboard component. Oh, we have to implement. Okay, so we have this class. We implements on init, and in here, heroes, hero, typo, equals. Okay, so we're creating an array and we're initializing it to be empty. Oops. Heroes. Doesn't like that. What am I missing? Implements typo, that's why. And then this guy, dashboard component. Okay, it's not complaining. Okay, oh, it is. Oh yeah, because we're not done. We don't have the ng on init, which we are about to type right now. Let's do that first. ng on init void. So this function does not output anything. That's why we have void. This dot hero service dot get heroes. So we're creating a function called get heroes. And then because it's a promise that's coming back, we have a then function that runs, and inside we have an arrow function, heroes, arrow function, this dot heroes equals heroes dot slice 1 5. So we're basically, we're going to get, out of this array of heroes, we're getting the first, what does slice do? The first 5 things? I don't know. We'll learn in a minute, I'm sure. So they break this into a new line. Let's do that. Indent it. And now we got this constructor that I forgot to write out. So let's do that. Constructor. We have a private hero service of type hero service. Okay, so because we imported hero service, in this class, we're gonna, in the constructor, we're gonna use the hero service to create a new instance, I think that's what we call it, of hero service, and make it private. And then now that we have access to it, when this runs on the life cycle, when it first loads, this hero service will get, we're going to run this function inside the service, and inside that function, once it comes back with the data, we get a slice of this data, this array that comes back. We're getting one of them, 1, 5. I think that means first, I don't know, we'll know in a minute. I think it gets the first one or the first of the 5, or we'll see. We've seen this kind of logic before. We have define a heroes array property, inject the hero service into the constructor, and hold it in a private hero service field, and then call the service to get heroes inside the Angular on ng on init lifecycle hook. In this dashboard, we cherry pick 4 heroes. Oh, that's what's going on. So it's picking 4 heroes. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th with the array slice. So that answers my question earlier, why those 4 were picked out. It just happened to be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in the array, and for no other reason than that. So then we refresh the browser. Let's save all, refresh, reload. Dashboard. Nothing's happening. Is it supposed to? This markup should be showing 4 things. We don't have any errors. So what's going on? So for some reason this, so we have the service, we have access to the service, this hero service, same, no typo there, this function exists. Like if I put a typo here, it would complain right away. So that's okay. So that means this is happening. So must be something wrong here. Heroes, arrow function, this dot heroes equals heroes dot slice 1/5 and 2 close brackets. Okay, now I'm officially stumped. I don't know what am I missing? Maybe this template file, maybe there's something wrong in here. Hero of heroes, hero.name. So maybe something is wrong with here. So let's go back to the template file. Maybe I missed something here. Let hero of heroes. Here, oh, there it is. There's an E missing here. I bet you that's all it is. Let's take a look. And right away it works. So there was no indication that I had a typo because this is a template file. So it was, yeah, it was breaking here like I saw, but it just didn't give me a little underline. So, okay, we can resume. All right, where were we? Navigate to the hero details. Although we display the details of a selected hero at the bottom, okay, we read all this already. What it's saying is basically we still haven't done 3 things. from the dashboard to a selected hero, from the heroes list to a selected hero, from a deep link URL pasted into the browser URL bar. Adding a hero detail route seems like an obvious place to start. Hero detail. So we do have one hero detail here, but they want to be able to access this from here as well. Okay. We'll add a route to the hero detail component in the app module TS, where our other routes are configured. The new route is a bit unusual in that we must tell the hero detail component which hero to show. We didn't have to tell the hero's component or the dashboard component anything. At the moment, the parent hero's component sets the component's hero property to a hero object with a binding like this. So my hero detail, are they talking about, where are they? My hero detail. Is this a new thing? My hero detail? No, here, okay. So this selector is coming in from another component, dashboard component here. So what are they talking about? Is this new markup? I think so. Let me repuzzle through this. We'll add a route to the hero detail component. So hero detail component in the app module. So okay, app module. So here we have the routes. Okay. The new route is a bit unusual in that we must tell the hero detail component which hero to show. Okay, so we can't just go to this route. Oh, that's hero's component, hero's detail. So even if I added another route here to hero's details, we still need to specify which hero to show the details of. We didn't have to tell the hero's component or the dashboard anything. At the moment, the parent hero's component sets the component's hero property to the hero object with a binding like this. That clearly won't work in any of our routing scenarios, certainly not the last one. We can't embed an entire hero object into the URL, nor would we want to. We can add the hero's ID to the URL. When routing to the hero whose ID is 11, we could expect to see a URL such as this, detail/11. Okay. The detail part of the URL is constant. The trailing numeric ID part changes from hero to hero. We need to represent that variable part of the route with a parameter or token that stands for the hero's ID. So we're going to configure the router with a parameter. Here's the route definition we'll use. Okay, so we're going to add a new path, a new object here into our paths in our router. Path, this constant detail plus this parameter, :ID. And then we specify the component hero detail component. Done. Again with this little comma here. Okay, weird. Oh, I forgot this comma though. That's important. But this bothers me. I don't like that this last one's here. I don't think it has to be there. Okay. So now the colon in the path indicates the ID is a placeholder to be filled with a specific hero ID when navigating to hero detail component. We're finished with the application routes. We won't add a hero detail link to the template because users don't click a navigation link to a particular hero. They click a hero whether that hero is displayed on the dashboard or in the heroes list. We'll get to those hero clicks later in this chapter. There's no point in working on them until the hero detail component is ready to be navigated to. That will require a hero detail component overhaul. So we'll expect that later. Revise the hero detail component. Before we rewrite the hero detail component, let's review what it looks like right now. Okay, so let's go to hero detail component. It's showing the name, the ID, and then we can modify the name. Okay. That's what it is so far. Oh, they put these on the same line, so let's do that too, so you know that they're associated. Okay, that makes more sense. Earlier in the tutorial they had it like this, and I thought, well, how do these two pair up? But I guess because it's one line, it's one statement. Okay. The template won't change. We'll display hero the same way. The big changes are driven by how we get to the hero. We will no longer receive the hero in a parent component property binding. The new hero detail component should take the ID parameter from the params observable in the activated route service and use the hero service to fetch the hero with that ID. First, we add the required imports. So it's basically saying, instead of getting this property, this hero, just from here, it's going to be coming from the router, from the URL. And to get that working, we need to keep the import for now. We'll remove, what does it say? We'll remove it later? Yeah. Okay, so we'll remove this later. We need to add to our top here on init, because it seems like anytime we have routing, we need this on init imported. And now we're going to add some routing code from Angular. So import activated route and we're importing this thing called params from the @Angular router. And now we have to import location, which I don't know what that is yet either. From @Angular common. Okay, and then we have the hero service, and we forgot to add the service. Okay, so I wonder if that means we don't need this anymore, because this and this is no longer necessary, I think. Yeah. Let's have the activated route service, that's here, and the hero service and the location service injected into the constructor. So we don't have a constructor, we have to create one. Okay, constructor. And we put in private hero service of type hero service. New line there. Okay. Private route. So these are new instances of that service, I guess. A private instance, I'm guessing. Of type location. We close this. And it looks like we need these little things. Okay. Activated route, yeah. Okay. Wait, do I have a typo? Activated route. There.